So I spent some time playing around with ChatGPT this last week, and I want to give my initial thoughts and reactions. If you don't want to wait until the last minute of this video, I'm going to answer the question right now. No, I don't think ChatGPT is going to replace software engineers in the next 5 to 10 years. Whether it will happen entirely in our lifetime, I can't really answer that. But I don't think it's going to happen in the near term, mainly because I don't think ChatGPT can get access to enough data in order for it to completely replace software engineers in every case. A lot of companies keep their code bases hidden behind firewalls and internal databases, so I don't think that they're going to be willing to give it up to ChatGPT unless there's some sort of B2B enterprise solution, whereas a lot of these companies already have internal AIs that can write code for their developers, and I don't see ChatGPT writing code as a huge step forward. It is very cool. It is an awesome technology. I was pretty mind blown when I started using it, but after a while, I started noticing that it was mostly good for breadth of search kind of questions. It knows a lot about a lot of things, but it doesn't know a lot of depth about any single thing. And I've noticed this because a lot of the questions that I've asked were just like general, like, how do I get a mortgage? How do I code a basic app? What kind of animals like run in forests? These questions are very simple, like high level questions that have very straightforward answers. But when you started asking very in-depth questions, like how do I build a complicated scaled marketplace application using DynamoDB and Redis and all these different technologies, that's where ChatGPT really starts falling short. And a lot of this is because of the publicly available data that ChatGPT can use. A lot of AI is trained on data available, and if there's no data that already exists on the public internet or whatever data sources that ChatGPT uses to train itself, then it can't really provide an answer. And that goes to my next point, where ChatGPT, if it can't provide a good answer, will give you the wrong answer. And that's something that is a major differentiator between it and other forms of gathering data like Google, Bing, and search engines. Usually, search engines give you the citations and where it gets the data from before it comes to a conclusion, whereas ChatGPT will give you an output as in a human readable format, but it won't tell you where it's from and whether it's correct. So this means that you have to go out and fact check yourself against other sources and make sure that what ChatGPT is telling you is correct. A lot of times with more nuanced questions, like for example, if I was running a question that is a very similar prompt as a different question, like if I sent it how to buy and trade stocks 2 instead of buy and trade stocks 1, sometimes it will give me the answer of the question how to buy and trade stocks 1. And when I take the code and run it, it will be incorrect. This is an example of ChatGPT giving me the wrong answer for a question that I asked. And instead of saying, I don't know, ChatGPT will tell me something incorrect because it wants to give the illusion that it can respond. And this is one of the shortcomings of AI. It's sometimes there's just not enough data, or the data can't be broken apart in a nuanced way to get the right answer every time. Ultimately, I think ChatGPT is really good at a lot of things. I think it's really good at templatized problems, like, for example, building an app or building a simple website or getting data from an API. Those problems are very known and well-solved problems that have a lot of resources. And honestly, as a software engineer, you can templatize them too. Typically, you just need to drop a new link and have a new JSON parser to change a app that gets information from Reddit to something that gets it from Hacker News. These problems are very straightforward and easily solved, and ChatGPT really excels at these, at breaking apart the question and building boilerplate that lets you do your own custom logic on top. I think a lot of people that are building templatized apps are in trouble because of ChatGPT, because you don't really need a service to do it if an AI can already do it better than you. However, where ChatGPT really falls short is anything that goes beyond the scopes of a junior engineer and goes more into mid and senior, where a lot of your work starts doing system design or high-level thinking or deep analysis of why a program isn't working. This kind of ambiguous thinking is where ChatGPT falls short, because it's very hard to ask ChatGPT, look at this huge amount of data and this is all the context you need, and figure out why this function call is taking 40% more memory than expected, or why are we timing out at this network call, or why are we running into this problem with this one command like standard move copy. That is just something that ChatGPT is going to have a hard time doing, because it just doesn't have enough context, as well as when a novel problem comes up and it doesn't have an answer trained based on previous data, it won't really know. And the worst possible scenario is it'll tell you the wrong answer, because it definitely wants to give the illusion that it knows and can answer most things. So if junior developers are in danger and mid-senior are safe, I think that in the future, ChatGPT isn't going to be a killer, but it's going to be a tool for most software engineers. I think that software engineering is going to be moving to a model where a lot of the simpler things will be written by an AI. Like, for example, if there is a small subset of a program that needs to be written that was created by a high-level engineer and was designed out, typically those pieces would be given to junior engineers to be built out. But I could see a future where junior engineers will be working with AI, and AI will be a false multiplier for those junior engineers. Instead of having to memorize how to write a simple function for finding an element in a list, that's a very known problem that ChatGPT can write out. But where it falls short is when you have when that one function sits in a bigger system of buying products online, then ChatGPT won't really have the expertise, or might not have the data and answer ready to create that high-level design. But if a junior engineer leverages ChatGPT in the future, I can see a really great harmony between the engineer and the AI. In addition to that, I think that a lot of companies already have this tool in-house. Personally, I've used it at a couple companies that I've been at, and it is trained on the company's code base and writes solutions directly useful for that company. So I think that a lot of times this already does semi-exist in industry, and it's not really that glaring that this exists to the public now. Also, ChatGPT is still a public beta kind of application, so there's huge issues with scale. This last weekend I was using it, and it was impossible to use because so many people were accessing it that I had a long wait time. It's going to be a challenge to scale this kind of system, as well as making sure it's constantly trained on new data. So I think that there's a lot of problems right now to make ChatGPT a viable business, as well as not a huge money pit, because right now there is no monetization model for the business. It's just losing money on every query. So I think there's a lot of challenges. While the technology is really cool, I don't think that it's going to end up replacing software engineering as a profession in the near term. But in the future, who knows? Anything can happen. We went from no AI to almost a human-like interaction through a chatbot in 20 years. Who knows what the next 10 years are going to have for us. So thanks for watching. If you enjoy this video, make sure you like and subscribe. I post videos every couple weeks to a month about tech, finance, living in New York City, and etc. topics. So thanks for checking in, and peace out, guys.